Hey, it's Tom with Splinter Sports Talk. Do me a favor right off the bat and smash the subscribe button so that you're following my channel. We do episodes on different sports, college football, NFL, fantasy, things like that. So, that would really make me happy if you did that. So let's get started right away with some fantasy. I've discussed some fantasy in the past, and I'm keeping you abreast of what goes on in my main league. It's the one that I really like to play in. So anyways, this league here, as you know, is a total points league. It's very competitive. These guys are strong players. Last week I told you that I did 6th place. This week I was in 1st place. So this week I had 167 points. My team really came through compared to last week, so I was extremely happy. I thought this was going to happen for some of these guys, but Kyler Murray has been on fire with the Cardinals. He's getting me 42 points this week. Aaron Jones, he bounced back from his 2-point performance last week. 37 points this week against the Lions. I think anybody that had Aaron Jones expected the same thing. Terry McLaurin from Washington, I was a little nervous changing out the quarterback, but he did great. He ended up getting me 21.5 points. Cooper Kupp from the Rams, 32.5 points. Great job playing Indianapolis. And now this week, though, he's going to play the Buccaneers, which is going to be a great game. George Kittle now. He's been letting me down a little bit. I've been a little disappointed. Only 3 points against the Philadelphia Eagles. Antonio Brown, I put him in the lineup this week. That was probably a mistake because he really wasn't relied upon that much. He's kind of playing my 3rd wide receiver, 1.5 points. Kareem Hunt, a little lower this week, 5.5 points. Boswell, the kicker for Pittsburgh. Now, he did great in the end. He hit a 56-yarder, which gave me 5 points for that. So he got 8 points. And then the Patriots defense, I took them at the beginning of this season just simply because I think the defense will be the strong point of their team. They play in a weak conference. They give me 16 points. I mean, hey, that's awesome. So a total of 167. My closest competitor to me this week was a guy by the name of the Butter Shavers. He was 138.5. And then the Yada Yada Yada, he's at 133 this week. He is still holding on to 1st place ahead of me by 4 points. Hopefully I'll be able to catch up. Reason why he's in 1st place is because right off the bat, he took the Buccaneers, Brady, Gronkowski, and the Bucs defense, and it really paid dividends these first couple weeks. So anyways, now, if you're in a fantasy right now is the time to exploit the weaker teams in your division. And what I mean by that is in some of your leagues, the guys that are in last place right now didn't expect they were going to be there. So at this point in time, it's time to try to go cherry picking. And maybe you go to their rosters and see who they have sitting on their bench, or maybe a good player, and try to offer them a package to get the good player off their team and onto yours. I love doing that. I'm going to be looking at rosters this week and seeing if in our league if some of the other guys there might want to try to deal some players. You never know. Somebody might give something up. Because if you're in a deep league, 10, 12, 14 teams in your league, it is very difficult to go to the waiver wire now and pick up good players. The only thing you can do now is pick up backups in the event that, people on your team get hurt. Because it's very unlikely you have good players still sitting on the waiver wire. Now that we talked a little bit about fantasy, let's go right to the NFL. Let's talk about this past week's games, and then let's look ahead to these next games here. Washington beat the Giants, Thursday night game, decent game. 49ers beat the Eagles, that's what I expected. Broncos beat the Jags, that's what I expected there. Rams over the Colts. Colts are a hard luck team. I mean, they got rid of Jacoby Brissett. They brought in Carson Wentz. This guy can't stay healthy. And now he's got 2 sprained ankles. I don't know how you do that. But anyways, 2 sprained ankles. So as far as it goes, the Colts, I thought that they would be a much better team to start this season. Patriots over the Jets. That's what I expected. Buccaneers over the Falcons. Listen, wow. The first 2.5 quarters of that game, the Falcons played them a lot tighter than I thought they would. That's for sure. Titans over the Seahawks. The Seahawks had a nice lead. I don't know. You blew the lead. Ravens over the Chiefs. Wow. I was really surprised. That was an excellent game. Great game. Lots of points being scored in that game. 36-35 was the score there. Raiders, surprise team, 2-0 now. Raiders beat the Steelers. Browns over the Texans. Panthers over the Saints. So the Saints go in and beat the daylights out of the Green Bay Packers, but yet the Saints play the Panthers and get the daylights beat out of them. Now, it's so confusing why that works that way. But, I also think that Green Bay was not really ready to play that first game. I don't think Green Bay is going to be that great. I think they're going to be up and down the entire season. We'll see if they even make it to the end. I don't know. Bills crush the Dolphins. 35-0. The Bears beat the Bengals 20-17. Cardinals over the Vikings. Cardinals 2-0. Cowboys over the Chargers. And then, of course, the Packers beat the Lions. Now, the Lions, folks, I've been a Lions fan since I was a kid. It's not saying much. But at the same time, the Lions, this is the most... the hardest I've seen a team play in a long time for Detroit. I think the coach there is doing a great job. When you seen that first drive against Green Bay, they took it right down the field. They shoved it down Green Bay's throat. And you know what? I was like, wow, I haven't seen a Lions team do that on an opening possession in a long time. They played the Packers tough for a little bit, but they just don't have depth. They're very weak in all positions. They don't have wide receivers. They just don't have defensive depth. They need linebackers. But overall, listen, they did fine. Now, this week's games, let's go ahead and pick this week's games and see who we think's going to win here. So we got a game here, Panthers and the Texans. That's our Thursday night game. I'm going to take the Panthers over the Texans. Panthers seem to be playing pretty decent right now. We got the Cardinals and the Jaguars. I don't think the Jaguars have much of a chance. Cardinals are hot right now. Cardinals got, Kyler Murray, the DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk. The offense there is clicking right along. It's going to take a good defense to stop them. Washington and the Bills are going to beat them up. Washington has a good defense, but the Bills are going to be a good team. They're going to be there in the end. Saints and the Patriots. I'm going to go with the Patriots in that game because if Jameis is going to be hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, I watched that for 5 years in Tampa Bay, folks. And Jameis is what held the Buccaneers back years ahead of Tom Brady even being there. So I think the Patriots can upset the Saints. Bengals and the Steelers are going to win that game there. Broncos and the Jets. The Broncos defense is looking pretty tough so far this year, so the Broncos are going to beat the Jets. Now, we got a couple good games here, great games. Buccaneers at the Rams. If you don't think everybody's going to be watching that game, you're crazy. That game is going to be an awesome game. Is that a preview of what we should expect in the playoffs? So I can't wait to see the Buccaneers and the Rams. That's Sunday, 4:25 game. The Packers and the 49ers. I think it is an important game. 49ers, Packers. It's going to kind of sort a little mess out there. I think that's going to be a good game. I think that in this game, though, I am going to go with the 49ers to beat the Packers. Now, if we go and we take a look at the rest of these games here, we got Chargers, Chiefs. Chiefs are going to win. Browns, Bears. The Browns are going to beat the Bears. Looks like Justin Fields is going to get in as the quarterback. We got the Colts and the Titans. The Titans are going to rough the Colts up. We got the Falcons and the Giants. That's a pick 'em. That game could go either way. But I think in that game there, I'm going to go with the Giants to win. Ravens and the Lions, that's going to be a no-brainer. The Ravens are going to beat the Lions. Dolphins playing the Raiders. Raiders are going to win that game. Seahawks and the Vikings, you know, Vikings offense is pretty good. That defense is not. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks there. Eagles and the Cowboys. I think, Eagles and Cowboys, not great teams, but it's a great game for their division. I'm going to take the Cowboys to beat the Eagles in that game there. So listen, that's what I'm looking at for the NFL. I think we're off to a great start. I think the NFL has done some real nice job with some of their game matchups early in the season. We've got to see some really good games. I also like how they're positioning some of these games on TV so we all get a chance to see them. It's just not a regional watch. So anyways, you know what? I hope that your team is doing great, and I hope that you're doing great yourself. And like I said, please don't forget to follow my channel. And you know what? I'll catch you on the next episode. Take it easy and enjoy the NFL season.